Okay, I'm hoping that Blake has something up her sleeve, or I'm going to scream.
Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's Ash. I'm coming at you live from my bedroom floor because I was supposed to be on the bed, but I'm washing my sheets. So right now my bed is naked, so I'm not about to put her on screen and air out her business like that. This week was an interesting week. This week was an exciting week because we finally read The Atlas Six. I mean, this book had the trench coat, sweater vest, black tights culture in a chokehold. So when I went into Atlas Six, I kind of went into it blind. I didn't read the back of the book. I didn't want to know what it was about. I just kind of wanted to feel it out. So while I will tell you what it is about, I had to learn all of it for my own. So the Atlas Six. The Alexandrian Society are caretakers of lost knowledge from the greatest civilizations. Those who earn a place among the Alexandrians will secure a life of wealth, power, and prestige beyond their wildest dreams. Each decade, only the 6 most uniquely talented magicians. I've been cracking my toes. Sorry if you can hear it, it's very unprofessional. And each decade, only the 6 most uniquely talented magicians are selected to be considered for initiation. Enter the latest round of 6. This is important. We have Libby Rhodes and Nico de Verona, who exert uncanny control over every element of physicality. We have Raina Mori, who's a naturalist who can listen to the language of plants. We have Parisa Kamali, who's a telepath. We have Callum Nova, who's an empath, easily mistaken for a manipulative illusionist. And then finally, we have Tristan Kane, who can see through illusions to a new structure of reality. Fancy. When the candidates are recruited by the mysterious Atlas Blakely, they are told they will have 1 year to qualify for initiation, during which time they'll be permitted preliminary access to the Society's archives and judged based on their contributions to various subjects of impossibility. The 6 potential initiates will fight to survive the next year of their lives, and if they can prove themselves to be the best among their rivals, most of them will. Most of them. So that's the Atlas Six. We're going to meet back at the end of this video to discuss my final thoughts and my rating. See you soon. So, first off, I just want to say that the bookmark that I'm using is... I have to get some nice bookmarks because right now I only have a few. And then I'm also the type of person who will read like 8 things at one time. And so I use up my bookmarks. And then I resort to just like grabbing random things from the vicinity. Receipts, bills, paper towels. Like my books are in the trenches. But since my books are not buying me any bookmarks, in the trenches they will stay. So Atlas Six is divided into 2 sections, beginning and end, which I love. We've made it to page 76 and we've gotten through the chapters Weapons and Truth. So first impressions on Atlas Six. I don't quite know where we stand yet. And that's to be expected because with such a large cast, it's so hard to get a read on all the characters and see which ones you like and see which ones you don't. If you walk into a room with 5 other people, you're not going to know in the first 5 minutes whether you like them or not, unless they say something crazy or racist. Then you have to swing. At this stage, though, we have been introduced to our main 6 characters. We have Libby and Nico, who just graduated college together and have been competing with each other throughout their entire college careers because their powers are so similar. So far, they've gone through the pages just going off about how much they hate each other, and I could be wrong, but we know sometimes the hate is just a code word for... So we'll see how that plays out. We have Raina the loner, who kind of feels like she's been plagued by her magic. Like she's not excited about her abilities or her talents, even though they're very powerful. We have Parisa, who skates by on her talents and her beauty. A bad bitch. We have Callum, stereotypical rich kid, has glazed through life in ways that I wish I could. And kind of takes this whole thing as a joke, or just something to entertain him. And then finally, we have Tristan, who has a very complicated past, is very desperate to prove himself, and just wants to distance himself from his family's legacy. So those are the Atlas Six. I'm excited to see who pulls through in the lead as my favorite. I feel like it'll be Libby, because Libby gives a lot of like bossy, anxious, talented, but also suffers from imposter syndrome, which... So if one person has to make it through to the next round, I do hope that it's her. Because right now, we know that there's some type of magical competition, but we don't know what that entails, what they're going to have to do, whether it's going to be like more research, something more scholarly, or if 4 of them will be dead in the morning. Speaking of that, we found out that not everybody makes it into the society. There are 6 candidates and only 5 get initiated. And one question that they have not asked thus far is what happens to the person who doesn't get to move on to the next round? And I don't know if I'm just cynical, but that would be the first question I'm asking, because they're not going to unfold this secret society's existence and give me access to some of the greatest secrets in the world. And then if I don't make it, they're just like, I want to know, Atlas. Now, as for the writing style itself, I think I like it. I think that she's very good at building a vibe. Like, you're supposed to get the feeling that you're somewhere that's very scholarly, very highbrow. Sorry for the sudden change in venue. My boyfriend just got home, and as supportive as he is, I would rather eat glass than let him hear me record anything. But yeah, I'm getting those feelings of excitement and anticipation because we don't know exactly what these challenges are going to entail, but then always also that underlying feeling of suspicion. Because I mean, like, who are these people? I mean, they could be the Alexandrian Society coming to find 5 new initiates for their secret club, or this is just Saw. With Blake's writing, though, I have noticed that there have been times where, because I think she's going for that very prestigious kind of feel, and she wants you to feel the weight of how important this society is, she'll have sentences where she's trying to throw in like a lot of really big words. But sometimes she tries to make a sentence sound fancy, and it just comes off sounding very clunky. Like, it's okay to just say that the sky is blue, sis. I believe that you have the chops. Because, you know, there's an art to it. It has to flow. The sentences can't be too cumbersome. And I think sometimes it's just very obvious and out of place when she's doing too much. And at some point during the sentence, I'm like, just girl, speak the king's English.
So I got a little carried away. I think last time we spoke, I was on page 80. No. I think last time we spoke, I was on page 80, and now I'm on 193. So yeah, I definitely got a little carried away. Probably should have said something before, but I feel justified because nothing's happened. I'm like, I don't know if this is like the saggy middle syndrome that books go through, but I went from being so excited about this to kind of feeling a little lukewarm about it now. So at this stage, we're like pretty deep into the competition, only it's not really a competition so much as it's just them doing research work so they can advance their abilities, they can become stronger, better, faster, hotter, I don't know. But other than the 6 of them coming together as a group to keep the society and its archives secure, putting in security measures in place, and they got attacked once. It's really just been about their alliances, getting to know the characters better, and then also watching them uncover some more of their powers. We've learned a tiny bit more of the society. We've grown to mistrust the society, but I do feel like there's been a long stretch of time where I've been reading the book, and I've been reading the book happily, but my interest has just been slightly dwindling over time. So all 6 of our competitors, they're like insanely smart. Obviously, to get chosen for this super secret society, you have to be really smart. So they all have like a pretty strong grasp on things like physics and quantum theory and philosophy and whatever. And because they're so much smarter than you and I, they're having frequent discussions about it. I've just been reading so much theory. I feel like I'm at an internship. It's just not gripping me. Like, here's the thing about me as a reader. I'm not opposed to authors having their characters flexing their intellectual muscles. In fact, I respect it because I could never string together some of these sentences in a coherent way. But I need those pockets of science to be interspersed with forward progression of the story. Like, expecting me to wade through paragraphs and paragraphs of physics is just not realistic. I like science. I have a healthy respect for science. I wish I knew more about science, but physics can collect this roundhouse kick. So like I said, we're on page 193. We are in the chapter titled Time. The characters are really heavily discussing concepts of time from a psychological standpoint, a physics standpoint, a molecular standpoint. So I'm assuming that the overarching plot of the book is going to have something to do with time. Or I'm just reading Blake's dissertation. As for the characters themselves, one of them is a villain. One of them is not like the others. And I'm worried about this person. Like, kudos to Blake, because I'm actually terrified of this person. Like, if we're being realistic, if there's anybody to snuff out, like, right now, I'm not going to say it. Like, I'm not going to say, hey, you should hurt anybody. But, you know, people fall off buildings all the time. So I don't know if my girl Libby was to give this person a push. I'm not going to look. Ooh, I don't see it. I think most of the other characters are fine. The little one-on-ones they have, the ways that they work together, and the animosities and the jibes and the fear, like that is what is fascinating to me. I love the Atlas 6. Where do I even start? Blake has done exactly what I wanted her to do, and she started mixing in the theoretical discussions with some serious forward progression of the plot. Because I know that Blake is crazy smart, but I need my big brain conversations interspersed with my small brain conversations. Because I do not have the attention span of her target audience. Each section of the book represents an area of study that the Atlas 6 are supposed to be tackling. There is little to no guidance from the society as to what exactly they're supposed to be doing or uncovering, but each of the 6 is taking serious advantage of all of the knowledge that the society has to offer. We got a little bit of a glimpse. We don't know exactly what it means yet, but in one of the previous year's initiates, something happened. Something happened, and it left a mark in the society. Something that shook Atlas up a little bit. We don't know what happened. We just know it's evil. On top of that, we are getting closer and closer to the elimination. Our other initiates are supposed to pick the person to be eliminated. So it's just been so good watching the alliances shift, people discover their powers, realize their potential, become more valuable to the group. Like the way that they're just split up into they're all incredibly brilliant, don't get me wrong, but the way that they're split up into those who are seriously playing the game and taking advantage and who are just so much more clever and conniving than the others versus those who focus on their research, answer some own personal questions about who they are, what they're capable of. It's so good. Characters. I've pretty much solidified my favorites right now. Libby, she ain't going nowhere. She has the brains, she has the talent, she has the heart, she has the compassion. Like, don't get me wrong. There are times where she can definitely be annoying. There are certain scenes, say they're in a lecture, and she just won't shut up, and I'm like, girl. Also, I was absolutely wrong about Nico and Libby. They definitely give twin brother and sister vibes. So whatever predictions I had before about them, I take that back. I don't know what you're saying. Ashley, you didn't know that a man and a woman could just be friends? Listen, I just came off of reading Allie Hazelwood, okay? My eggs were a little scrambled, but I'm back. And I'm logical again. She's by far the favorite, but Parisa, that's my girl. She is probably the smartest person in the entire book. She's been the only person throughout this experience that has been asking all of the important questions and then also getting answers. The way that she's able to exploit the other characters and slither her way inside and just rip them apart, amazing to watch. But this is just really just so interesting and impressive. The discussions that Blake has in here are so complex, bordering on pretentious, but I'm enjoying it so much
that I don't care. Like, I have to respect the effort that went into this book because it's not just about telling you about the magic system. She wants to break it down piece by piece and explain it. Is it always necessary? Hell no. Do I technically care to read about the potential molecular structure of time? You've already lost me. I stopped paying attention as I spoke that sentence, but I respect how much detail has to go into something like this. And I love an author who writes like they gave it their all. We are hurtling towards the end. We have less than 100 pages to go. I'm so excited to see how this is going to end. This book is written in such a way where you can't trust the characters can't trust each other, the characters can't trust themselves. Shoot, you and I can't trust each other. She has me doubting myself. I don't know, man. This is just so good. Okay, I'm hoping that Blake has something up her sleeve, or I'm going to scream. So I finished it. And I honestly have no idea. Like, before I even tell you guys anything, I feel like I need like 3 days to process that ending. Not because it was so shocking so much as like 3 different plot points just unfolded in like the last 20 pages, and I'm overwhelmed and confused. I'm just confused. And what the hell? In my little head, I thought that we were going to sit at a very solid 4 stars. I just had such a deep respect and admiration for the concepts that Olivia Blake could explore in this book. This just felt so high effort, and even though I might have felt a little lukewarm in the beginning, in the last like 100 pages, I like fell in love with it. But the ending messed me up, man. The night after I finished reading this, I literally sat there for a long time trying to make sense. The biggest reveals in this book come at the very, very end, because I believe that the Atlas Six is going to end up being a trilogy. So, you know, as books and series go, at the end, they set you up for what the next book is going to be. But I honestly couldn't tell if everything that she put at the end was too much for the end. Like, there were definitely tiny hints of how everything was going to unfold, but I don't think it was enough. So by the time I got to the end and I finished it, I felt so overwhelmed. I felt blindsided by all this new information, by this very quick turn of events. Like, I just didn't feel satisfied. Yeah, I didn't feel satisfied with how it was going. So to be honest, I struggled with this rating for days. Like, I won't lie. My boyfriend so graciously had me like debate both sides of a 3-star rating and a 4-star rating, and we settled on a 3.75. Loved it for all the reasons I just said. It's one of those books that I do believe deserves a lot of the hype, shockingly. But I also think it's one of those books where if you were like, I hated this, Ash, like it was boring, like I would understand where you were coming from. So yeah, 3.75. I do recommend it. I think you should give it a chance. So that's all I have for you this week. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm gonna go clothe my bed, but I will see you guys very soon.